Welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're heading into, well, a world of really intense flavor, deep history. We're focusing on a spirit that's just legendary for its bold character, Laphroaig whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Laphroaig. It really is one of the greats, isn't it?
Yeah.
So iconic, so respected in the Scotch world, and just completely distinct. You know it when you taste it.
That distinctiveness, yeah, that's the key word. And speaking of getting to the heart of it, our source today has been fantastic. We've really dug into the information from Whisky.dk.
Right. Denmark's biggest whiskey retailer, online and physical. They have a massive selection, serious expertise.
Exactly. So our mission really is to pull out the key things you need to know about Laphroaig. You know, its unique taste, where it came from, what makes it tick. Hopefully you'll walk away knowing a lot more, maybe have a couple of those aha moments.
And maybe before we jump right into Laphroaig itself, it's worth just touching on Whisky.dk for a second as our guide here.
Good point. Yeah, they're more than just a shop, aren't they? They've built this whole reputation around, well, genuine passion and deep knowledge.
Totally. They started small, online, back in 2012, I think. And they've just grown and grown, multiple awards for growth even.
Wow.
Yeah, and it shows in what they offer, not just bottles, but tastings, master classes. It feels like a real hub for whiskey fans, you know? So their perspective on something like Laphroaig is pretty insightful.
Absolutely. That expertise really helps frame why Laphroaig is such a big deal. It gets described as, what was it? Massively individual and completely distinct.
That's the one.
But maybe the real aha moment isn't just the taste, powerful as it is, but how its history, which is surprisingly dramatic, might have shaped it. Let's get into that legacy.
Okay. Well, that distinctiveness, like you said, it starts with Islay, the island itself, famous for peated, smoky whiskeys.
Right.
And the name, Laphroaig, it's actually Gaelic, pronounced Laphroaig.
Laphroaig, got it.
And it means something like the beautiful hollow by the broad bay. Gives you a real sense of place, doesn't it? Right on the coast.
It really does. And the founding story, it has layers. Founded by the Johnston brothers, Donald and Alexander. The official distillery date is 1815, but the roots go back even further. To a family farm, malting's around 1810.
That's right. But here's where it gets, well, a bit dark. One of the founders, Donald Johnston, died in 1847. And the story is he fell into a boiling kettle of burnt beer, basically the hot waste liquids.
Oof, that's grim. What a way to go, and kind of a strange image for a distillery legend.
Isn't it a tragic story? And interestingly, after that, the distillery wasn't run by the family for about 10 years. Walter Graham from Lagavulin, the neighboring distillery, took over management.
Ah, the rivals.
Well, neighbors anyway. But then it came back to the Johnston family in 1857 with Donald's son, Dougal. So there's this thread of resilience there, too, maybe.
Yeah, you can see that. And then more recently, ownership has changed hands a few times. Allied Domec had it for a while.
Yep, 1990 to 2005. And now it's managed by Fortune Brands, Inc., an American company. But the really striking thing is its success, especially recently. Since 2002, consistently the world's best-selling Islay single malt.
Wow.
And get this, sales jumped 50% in just 7 years. 50%.
That's incredible growth, especially for a whiskey that's known for being so intense. You wonder, is it because it's so bold, or is there something else going on? What's really driving that unique flavor? Let's talk peat.
Peat. Yeah, you can't talk Laphroaig without talking peat. It's absolutely the heart of it. That intense peat flavor, that powerful smoky smell, it's defining.
And it's specifically Islay peat, right? That makes a difference.
Huge difference. Islay peat is full of decomposed moss, heather, but also near the coast it picks up salt, seaweed, marine minerals. That gives Laphroaig those unique maritime, almost medicinal notes. And crucially, they malt some of their own barley on their own traditional floor maltings using this peat.
Okay, so that's a big deal, doing it in-house like that.
Oh yeah. Very few distilleries still do floor malting. It's labor-intensive, but it gives them huge control over the final peat level and character. It really embeds that specific Laphroaig signature right from the start. It's a key part of that flavor footprint.
So that traditional process is core. How does the wood, the casks, play into it then? Does it fight the peat or work with it?
It works with it, definitely. The maturation in oak is crucial for balance. They often use American oak, ex-bourbon casks primarily. Okay. And those casks bring in sweetness, vanilla notes, sometimes coconut. It smooths the edges, rounds out the intensity of the peat and smoke, stops it from being just a one-note phenolic blast.
So it's a balancing act.
Exactly. The result is properly complex. You get the big hitters, peat smoke, iodine, sea salt, tar, maybe even creosote or seaweed. But underneath or alongside, you find hints of vanilla, caramel, maybe Manuka honey, some dried fruit, citrus. It has this long, dry finish, too. It's definitely a whiskey for people who aren't afraid of intense flavors, who appreciate something unforgettable.
An unforgettable journey in a glass, sounds like. So, with such a strong core identity, how does Laphroaig manage to offer such a wide range of different bottlings? How do they create variety without losing that Laphroaigness?
That's the interesting part. They use that core profile as a foundation and then build on it in different ways. You start with the classic Laphroaig 10-year-old. That's kind of the benchmark, right?
The entry point for many people to Islay whiskey.
Exactly. It gives you that balance of intense smoke, some underlying sweetness, that complexity. It's the icon, and pretty accessible at 40% ABV usually.
And from there, they start experimenting with cask finishes.
Precisely. Like the Laphroaig 10-year-old sherry oak finish. They take the classic 10-year-old and finish it in Oloroso sherry casks. So you get the peat and seaweed, but also these lovely notes of Manuka honey, maybe even grilled bacon. It's great harmony.
Interesting combination, bacon notes.
Yeah. And then there's the Laphroaig PX cask. That one's triple matured, with the final maturation in Pedro Ximénez sherry casks. PX sherry is really sweet and rich.
So that adds a lot more sweetness.
Oh, yes. Masses of sherry sweetness, as Whisky.dk puts it. It really dials up the fruitcake and syrupy notes against the smoke.
Okay, so cask finishing is one route. What about cask size? I know they have the quarter cask.
Right, the Laphroaig quarter cask. That's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Inspired by the smaller casks used for transport back in the 19th century.
Smaller casks mean more wood contact, faster maturation.
Exactly. More interaction between the spirit and the oak. It gives it this lovely golden color, a really intense aroma glowing peat, but also coconut and banana notes come through strongly. And the taste is deep, smoky, complex with those classic medicine, seaweed, and tar notes really amplified. It's bottled at a higher strength too, 48%.
Feels quite powerful, and then you get into the older, rarer stuff.
Yeah, the aged expressions, like the Laphroaig 25-year-old cask strength. The 2023 version, for example, uses both American bourbon and European sherry casks. Very sophisticated. Peat smoke is still there, of course, but beautifully integrated with dried fruit, toffee, spices, sea salt. Often comes in a nice wooden box, too. A real treat.
And sometimes older versions of familiar bottlings pop up, right? Like older 15-year-olds.
Yes. Whisky.dk mentions a Laphroaig 15-year-old old version, bottled around 2008, described as having fresh oak, warm peat smoke, nutmeg, toasted almonds. Bit different from maybe newer styles.
And for the real collectors, those historical bottlings must be fascinating. You mentioned the 10-year-old from the 90s.
Yeah, the ones connected to the royal warrant from Prince Charles, now King Charles. There's a 1990 bottling with a distinctive green ribbon that was after the warrant was granted.
Okay.
And even rarer, a pre-royal warrant version from 1989-1990 came in a metal tin, blue ribbon, bottled before the royal nod. Those are proper collector's items. They tell the story beyond just the liquid.
History in a bottle, literally. And it's not just official bottlings, is it? Independent bottlers release Laphroaigs too.
Absolutely. And they can offer really unique takes. Whisky.dk lists some great examples. Signatory Vintage did a 25-year-old Symington's Choice from a single bourbon barrel, very limited bottles, noted for intense maritime and vanilla notes. Honor Lang had a 25-year-old in their Kinship series from a refill bourbon hogshead. So a second fill cask, meaning less intense wood influence, bringing out mandarin, honeysuckle, pear drops alongside the peat.
Interesting, more delicate notes coming through.
Yeah. And then Dramore released an 11-year-old from a refill barrel that apparently tastes much older than its age. These independent bottlings really showcase the spirit's versatility depending on the cask and time.
So it's clear Laphroaig isn't just relying on its past glories. They keep innovating. Things like the Cask Legacy Edition.
Right, designed to honor the founders. And Laphroaig Glory, which was brought in to replace the 18-year-old in the core range. It uses a mix of cask types and ages, aiming for richness and depth. It shows they're always thinking about how to present that core Laphroaig character.
And one more, the Laphroaig Select. How does that fit in? It sounds like a mix of everything.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
It's designed to be maybe a more approachable, rounded Laphro. They use a whole range of casks. Oloroso sherry butts, American white oak, including some virgin oak, which is unusual for Scotch PX hogsheads, quarter casks, and first fill bourbon barrels.
Wow, that's quite a recipe.
It is. The idea is to blend these different influences to create a complex but harmonious profile, maybe smoothing out some of the more extreme edges you might find in other expressions. Showcases their blending skills, too.
What an incredible journey through Laphroaig. From the peat bogs of Islay to all these different expressions, it's really clear this isn't just whiskey, is it? It's a whole experience tied to the place, the peat, that dramatic history.
Absolutely. Its appeal is right there in that boldness, that
Well,
complexity. It doesn't compromise, and that's why people love it, I think.
it really stands its ground, a powerful mix of tradition and, well, constant evolution.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It feels both ancient and modern at the same time.
So, as you're thinking about all this, here's something to consider. We've heard about Laphroaig's dramatic start the founders, that fatal accident, its rise to fame. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden stories, what compelling narratives might be behind other things we enjoy, things we admire? If you dug a bit deeper into their origins, how might that change your appreciation? Could it let you connect not just with a product or a flavor, but with a whole living history? Something to think about.